Hey guys, here we go into a video on Beterbiev versus Gvozdyk, and what is going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be a great fight, because the only way it's going to be a great fight, I think, is if Gvozdyk just sits on the line and trades punches with Beterbiev, which I don't think it's going to be, but this is a very, very, very important fight in the light heavyweight division. Probably, I don't want to say it's the most important because it's happening sooner, but it's actually the one that I thought was going to be the last one to happen. I thought everyone was going to avoid Beterbiev because of his power, but Gvozdyk decided to challenge him, and I think Gvozdyk made the right choice. I think that he's absolutely going to smash Beterbiev. This is going to be Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's what I think. I'm going to be doing film on not his last fight, but it was a couple fights ago. This guy's name is, I'm blanking on his name, but in my prediction video for this fight, a lot of people were really excited about this guy. And I did some film study on him and saw why. He's a pretty talented fighter. He's got good technique, good power. And actually, in my breakdown, because I was so impressed with him, I picked him to knock Beterbiev down. I just knew it was going to be that kind of fight. Based on the way that Beterbiev fights, and this guy fights, the way that their skills come together, that he was going to knock him down at least once. I didn't think he could win the fight because against a fighter like Beterbiev, it's very difficult to land, combination punches. Usually fighters with like a really good amateur pedigree, they're very difficult to hit and knock out. And that's what happens when you get to the top level. The people with the most experience, they wind up being harder to take out, or finish or whatever. But anyway, we're going to be doing film on that guy and on Beterbiev, and let's go ahead and get into it. So right away, the first thing we're looking at is Beterbiev's guard, right? Now, in the first 10 seconds of this fight, he's basically standing there, right? He's not transitioning his weight. He's not feinting. He's not probing. He's not learning about his opponent. He's just waiting for an opening. A little bit of pawing with the jab right there, just a little bit, but he's not learning anything. And you see the first time that he shoots a jab, immediately, well, he kind of taps him right there, right? But his opponent is slipping, and he's able to slip the next shot, right? By moving off the line, he knows what Beterbiev's doing, right? What Beterbiev looks to be working on. Probably because Beterbiev, I don't want to say, well, we'll get into it. But as you can see, not really an active guard, not really transitioning his weight. And that means that every single time Beterbiev switches his weight from his back leg to his front leg, he's going to be throwing a right hand, right? That means that Johnson here knows when he's safe to attack and when he's not, because he only really needs to worry about the right hand, because that's where all the weight is going to be, because of the fact that Beterbiev is only in one position. Now, the next clip. So again, another problem that Beterbiev has, right? Not transitioning his weight. Look at how he doesn't react at all to this combination being thrown at him. No slipping, no dodging, no transfer of his weight, and that's because he's holding all of his weight on his front foot. He's a completely front-footed fighter. He never transfers his weight to his back foot, and he doesn't know how to slip punches on the front foot. He just has no idea. And slipping punches to the outside of your opponent's jab is a back foot maneuver. But anyway, he doesn't react to punches very well. He doesn't control the space. He doesn't have an active guard, and he commits to almost everything that he does. Right, his probe here, probe there, right? And it's all in the timing of his weight. And see how he tries to time Johnson coming in, right? Time him, right? But Johnson's figuring it out. He does catch him with a good body shot by kind of feinting with the left earlier in the clip, but committing to all of his attacks, right? He doesn't know how Johnson is going to react to any of this stuff. The only thing that he knows right here is that Johnson's going to take a step back, right? That's what he knows, right? But look at how at the end of the clip, after Beterbiev finds his opening, boom, he stays on the line and almost gets clipped by that left hand, right? It's going to be very dangerous against somebody like Gvozdyk, who is just so tremendous with his counters. He's so fast, he's so sharp. Getting stuck on the line against Gvozdyk is going to be a big problem for him, especially when we start doing the film study and we get to look at how Gvozdyk fought his last opponent, who was very slippery, to say the least. Now again, Beterbiev not really setting up his punches, right? And look at every single time he transitioned his weight to his front foot from his back foot like this, shoots a straight right hand. And what happens? Even though he lands that shot, he gets stuck on the line and eats a counter of his own. Again, Beterbiev just doesn't fit the criteria of being like an A-level fighter. He's got great power, he hits hard, but how many different ways can you say that before you realize, oh, it's kind of all that boy got, right? Now, again, Beterbiev not setting up his attacks here, and every time he switches his weight from his back foot to his front foot, he shoots a right hand. And you can see that highlighted very clearly in this clip. Right hand, but every single time he's committing to all of his attacks. Again, no feinting, no probing, no weight transitions. Everything that Beterbiev does is an attack. Jab, jab. Thinking it's going to be a jab, Johnson is timing him, but even though he gets the read wrong, he's still able to block the right hand, again, because Beterbiev only transitions his weight when he's throwing a right hand, so he's still not able to get that. Again, transitions his weight, throws a right hand. Transitions his weight, throws a right hand. But look at how often he's on the line with this guy. Again, very, very, very dangerous to be on the line with somebody, especially, even if you're Beterbiev, right? It's still dangerous. Now, again, Beterbiev's stuck on the line, getting eaten up with counters. Counter hook, counter over the top. And that's because he commits to everything that he throws. He's very easy to time because, again, every single time he moves, right? When he wants to punch with his jab, he steps forward to get his weight into his jab, right? When he shoots his right hand, he transfers his weight again. But very predictable, very, and that's not necessarily always a bad thing. You want to be predictable at some point in the fight so you can break that pattern and, trick your opponent. But Beterbiev's showing that he's just not on that level. He's got great technique, great fundamentals. He hits hard, and he's got a good chin. But he doesn't know how to set his shots up, and he doesn't know how to move off the line after he's attacked or after he's put himself out of position. Now, the next clip here, number 7. This is about how I expect the fight to go. Right? Again, Beterbiev probing. Not really, but committing to all these attacks and then getting eaten over the top with that right hand. But again, committing to everything that he does, right? Even his feint, right? Committing to his feint. Hard step right there, right? Getting baited into shooting this jab to control the space and then getting clocked with the right hand. That is exactly how I expect the fight with Gvozdyk to go. Basically all 12 rounds with Beterbiev on the back foot. I think that Gvozdyk, and notice that, Johnson, I think it's Callum Johnson, he doesn't even have to be feinting, right? He's not even really giving Beterbiev different looks, and he's able to keep Beterbiev in his guard, right? To keep Beterbiev from feinting him. And Beterbiev's not probing, he's not giving him different looks. There's nothing to set up, so all Callum Johnson has to do is come forward, bait the jab out, slip the jab, boom, and then come over the top, Just a really easy night. If, Johnson could have kept that up. But we'll take a couple more looks at Beterbiev. Again, not setting up any of his shots. And this is going to make it super easy for Gvozdyk to control Beterbiev and to counter him. It's going to be very, very, very easy to counter him. As you can see right here, as Johnson is doing with the catch and counter style. Even though he's not landing right there, Beterbiev's showing that he's very susceptible to counters. Like in the last round, or the last video, or the last clip, getting hit with the overhand right, and they're getting hit with the hook. And then again, Beterbiev, no active guard. He's always on the line. Look at his feet right here, right? Both of them are planted. He's not able to transition any of his weight, and he has to kind of take a small step back, but he's already out of position, and Johnson's able to land this punch basically for free. He doesn't have to set that up at all. And because of the fact that Beterbiev doesn't move his head, he's very easy to hit. Again, probing. Again, transitioning his weight, right? Probe, right? But every time he uses one of these motions to bait a motion from Johnson, he's committing to it, right? So it's not really a probe because he's putting himself out of position in an attempt to get his opponent out of position, right? And then still on the line to get the counters, right? And as you can see, Johnson counters him with the left hook, and then boom, counters him over the top with the right hand again. Like, again, this is another great example of a flow of the fight. This is exactly what the fight with Gvozdyk is going to look like. Gvozdyk is just going to destroy this guy. Now, in this clip, Beterbiev hurts Johnson. Oh, I can't show this one. This one's too long. But in this clip, Beterbiev hurts Johnson right away. And what does Johnson do? Comes back and catches him with the left hook right after getting caught with a big punch. Now, this is the end of that exchange here. Beterbiev already hurt him, right? But he stays on the line with Johnson the whole time and winds up getting dropped himself. Again, he doesn't set up his punches, he doesn't feint, he doesn't probe, and his head is always in the same spot. You know, I really think that Gvozdyk is just going to have a field day with this guy. And then let's see what this last clip is. Oh, again, look at how Beterbiev is on the front foot, right? And he's going forward. Look at the attempts that he's making to set up his offense in the third round. Is this going to work against somebody like Gvozdyk? No feints, no probes, coming forward, slightly dipping, slightly. Look at how slow it is, right? You know. Again, committing to his jab there. Super easy to counter. And then, you know, Johnson again showing that that's what he's looking to do is counter over the top of Beterbiev's jab. Anyway, enough of Beterbiev. Let's take a look at some Gvozdyk. There we go. Oh man, I got a lot of clips of these guys. So the first thing we notice about Gvozdyk comes out feinting, right? And not only is he feinting, but look at how his weight is on his front foot right here. But look at how his shoulders are square. This is the same motion that you'll take when you throw a straight right hand. Your shoulders square up, your back shoulder comes forward as your weight transfers to your front foot, and you throw a right hand. That shows us automatically that he's going to be able to use this motion to set his punches up later. He's already setting the punches up simply by having an active guard and a good rotation of transferring of his weight. Again, feinting right away, feinting, circling off, getting off the line, and then setting up a body shot, right? He's seen how his opponent is going to react to the feint. His opponent brings his gloves up and tries to cover up his face, brings his gloves up, covers up his face, right? And then Gvozdyk says, okay, he's going to bring his gloves up, I'm going to shoot a jab to the body. 13 seconds into the fight, and he's already picked up the way that his opponent is looking to defend himself against a jab. And he's already used the jab to set up his next punch, which happens to be a jab to the body, but he's taken that information and already turned it into a successful attack against his opponent, which already creates another layer of defense that his opponent has to give Gvozdyk. Now, not only does he have to be worried about the jab to the face, so he has to keep blocking that because that's the feint, because if he stops blocking the feint, then it'll turn into a real punch, but now he has to block the jab to the face, and he has to also block the jab to the body. So how does he do this and also find a way to maintain an offense of his own, right? He's putting him into a little box already. I hope I explained that right. But again, transferring his weight, and again, very, very important when you transfer your weight from back foot to front foot, right? Transferring, rolling your shoulders forward, and allowing that to disguise your future offense. Again, very, very smart, right? Seeing how he's slipping to the outside. If a jab were to come here, he could slip to the inside. If a jab were to come as he's doing that motion, he could shoot a right hand right over the top. And one thing that we noticed about Beterbiev is he likes to control the space with his lead hand. As we saw with Johnson being able to counter over his jab, you know, people call it a lazy jab. Don't do that. That's not what it is. It's not always a punch, right? Control the space between you and your opponent, right? Threaten their position. But as he does that, Gvozdyk likes to, or as Beterbiev does that, Johnson counters over the top because that's the way that Beterbiev learned to control the space, right? And controlling the space is important because it's in the space between you and your opponent that you do all your work. It's where you feint, you probe, you look for information, you assess risk, and then you say, I think I have a good game plan. Then you execute. Feint right hand, feint slip, left hook, feint slip right hand, feint roll right hand, feint right hand roll. Whatever it is, little combination of motions that you want to execute on your opponent, you learn what that combination is going to be by feinting your opponent, by giving them different looks, asking them questions. Anyway, Beautiful work. And I love that little slide from Gvozdyk at the end, right? Moving. Again, heel-toe, right? Takes a step with his heel and then transfers his weight through his toes. Boom. So he can continue rolling. Fantastic technique. But, as we saw in that clip, a very active guard. A lot of feinting, and he's looking for information from his opponent. Look at how he shoots the jab, right? Feinting the jab. Feinting, right? And then he feints, and he expects a counter right hand over the top, and he says, ooh, what do you think about this? Not only is he slipping off the line in case a counter comes, but he's also asking his opponent what he thinks about the right hand feint, right? Now he's not only feinting with his lead hand, but he's feinting with his backhand as well, threatening the position that his opponent is in on multiple fronts, giving his opponent much more to think about. Fantastic offense from Gvozdyk. And then continuing to feint. Notice again, he's still not attacking. He's just asking his opponent for information, controlling him, asking him, hey, what do you think about this? What position do you go in? Hey, what do you think about this? And looking for a position in which he can mount his offense. Not but mount his offense. And even when he's coming forward, great here, right? Great counter here, boom. Look at how great his eyes are. Just fantastic counters. And again, because of the fact that he's feinting and he's controlling his opponent here, and his opponent, you know, people will probably call this guy awkward too, right? He's definitely not easy to fight. He's got the quote-unquote herky-jerky style. I know that they said that in the broadcast of this fight. But because Gvozdyk is constantly feinting and probing and giving him different looks and threatening his positions, Ngumbu doesn't have time to set his punches up. So he gets feinted, and he gets baited into an attack because he thinks Gvozdyk is attacking. So he's looking to use counter punches as his source of offense. So Gvozdyk is able to feint him again and then get him to expose what his attack is, get off the line. You know, I think he's looking to catch this jab here, but it winds up going to the chest instead, but he counters him. But because of the fact that he's able to feint and probe, he's able to stop Ngumbu from really setting up his offense or disguising what attacks he's going to use, because he's only looking to counter. Ngumbu doesn't have the opportunity to feint and probe and look for opportunities, so he only has the opportunities that Gvozdyk is giving him, right? So when Gvozdyk says, oh, he's looking to counterpunch, when I use this motion, okay, well, I want him to throw that counter because I know a good counter to that. So he shoots the jab, catches the jab from Ngumbu. He should have. If it was to his chin, he would have. And then shoots his own counter jab, you know, setting up his shots, using the correct information from what his opponent is giving him, and setting up his offense. Just beautiful fighting from him. Again, feinting, and again, slipping to the inside. And look at how he uses that, right? He's going to slip to the inside, and his opponent just takes a step back, right? But he doesn't transfer his weight. He doesn't block any shots, right? But he's worried about the right hand. So he feints him here. Whoops. So he shoots the same feint, right? And then he gets his opponent to think it's going to be a right hand, and then comes around the guard with the left hook instead. Just beautiful boxing from Gvozdyk. Now, Gvozdyk does kind of get stuck on the line there and get hit with the counter, which could be very dangerous for him against Beterbiev. Again, Beterbiev hits very hard. But as we saw, Beterbiev doesn't react to punches super well, and he doesn't counter punches super well either. So while I think this is a very dangerous position for Gvozdyk to be in, throwing body shots and getting stuck on the line, or throwing body shots and then not tying him up, or controlling his hands, just trying to move off the line, I think that could be very dangerous for him. I don't think it's going to be something that we need to worry about as much. I don't think that Beterbiev is actually that great of a counterpuncher. Now again, Gvozdyk coming forward, constantly transitioning his weight, constantly giving his opponent different looks. And is that the only reason why I included that clip? Feinting the right hand, feinting the jab to the body, feinting the right hand, shooting the jab. Again, just such an active guard that it's very difficult to know what attacks he's going to be threatening, what positions he's looking to get you in. It's just very difficult to fight Gvozdyk. He's just so polished and so sharp in understanding what he wants to accomplish in the ring and what he's seeing. Now again, this is exactly what I expect the fight to be. Now notice, he's going to feint him, bop, right, get his guard up, and then feint him again, and then as soon as he's able to bait an attack, right? Because Ngumbu from this position realizes that he's on the ropes, right? And if he continues circling out to the right, Gvozdyk is cutting the ring off at this moment. So if he continues circling to the right, he's going to get caught with the left hook. So he stops here and takes a step back, and Gvozdyk continues to cut the ring off. Notice the little tiny angle he's going to take here, right? Cuts the ring off, takes the angle to the side there, feints him with the right hand, right? And then he thinks he's slipping the right hand because he thinks that that slip was already the right hand. If you notice the little trip slips, and then he tries to slip the jab, or slip the right hand on the inside, but that was only the feint to the right hand, and he's able to get Ngumbu to expose the layer of defense, counterpunching, so he can land his overhand right cross to the chin. Now, I don't think he lands the shot, but it's just a beautiful setup that he's using the feint stepping forward, and then the feint to the hook because he knows what position he's in. But he uses the right hand to set up the right hand. Like, how fantastic is that he's using the right hand feint to set up the right hand? Anyway, moving on. Coming forward, feinting, blocking the counter. Again, I don't expect Beterbiev to be a very good counterpuncher, but Beterbiev is very easy to get out of position, right? If he wants to get out of position at all, right? Otherwise, he'll just sit on the line and let you punch him in the face. But one punch counters seem to be something that Beterbiev is looking to throw. Even when he hurt Johnson, he only threw one punch and then just kind of watched him before he started unloading, right? When he got hit with the left hook. But Gvozdyk showing that he can bait these counters and then come back with his own counters as well, right? Just great boxing, right? Just, I don't know if I can explain how high level this is to you guys, that he's so calm, he knows what counters are coming, he's waiting for them, and then he's responding. That the fact that he can do that all in the ring is fantastic. And again, feinting, right? Exactly what we expect the fight between him and Beterbiev to look like, right? Coming forward, feint, and then exposing that lead hand from him, right? And then catching him with the right hand over the top. I think this is basically going to sum up the entire fight between Beterbiev and Gvozdyk. I think these clips are just super compelling. Now, this is insane. Look at the motions from his opponent, right? Slipping to the outside, feinting the right hand, feinting the left hook, and then coming with the right hand. And Gvozdyk still almost picking him off, right? Still almost catching him with the counter. Right, all this extra motion, all this extra work, and Ngumbu just has so much more active of a guard than Beterbiev, and is, I don't think he's a better fighter probably. On the surface it looks like he has, more understanding of that stuff. Probably not the amateur pedigree that Beterbiev has, but on the surface, looking like he understands more about boxing than Beterbiev. But Beterbiev has great pedigree and fantastic technique. But in that clip, still almost catching and knocking him out. I don't know if he's knocking him out, but God, look at this clip, you guys. Look at this high-level boxing, you guys. Just constantly feinting, constantly giving him different looks. Feint, shoots the jab to the body, gets him out of position first, right? Like, just sees that Ngumbu is about to be on the front foot, right? And then feints him when he gets on the front foot, and as he's transferring his weight to his back foot, attacks him, right? Just beautiful. And then feint, slips the counter from him, and then comes in for his own counter. Like, beautiful. Feints, expects the counter, and then slips it, and then comes back with his own counter left hook. Just so high level, so sharp, paying so much attention. Gvozdyk is just the real deal, you guys. This guy is just so good. And then at the end of the clip, setting up his right hand by feint, and then shooting the right hand to the body. Just beautiful boxing, you guys. I don't know. I'm really excited to see Gvozdyk fight. I'm a huge fan. Again, still finding a way to control Ngumbu, feint, control his head, and then find a shot, even though he doesn't actually land that shot. Good job, Ngumbu. I'm sorry for putting you on blast right there unnecessarily. Great work. But, do we think Beterbiev is going to be able to do this? Do we? I don't know, man. Look at that guy. This guy, he transitions his weight probably 30 times more times in a round than Beterbiev does. Very, very high level feinting here, you guys. Just feint, feint, and then a shot, right? Look at all that baiting, feint, 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 and then opens him up after he gets him to expose the jab, right? And again, that's exactly what Beterbiev looks to do. Control the space with that lead hand and then get walked into punches. Bop, bop, boom. Gets him out of position finally. God, just super fanboy here, you guys. Gvozdyk's the real deal. Hey, Gvozdyk, don't get your ass knocked out tomorrow, bro. I'll be super mad. Great work. This is beautiful, you guys. This is really, really high-level stuff here, you guys. So Gvozdyk sees that he's transitioning his weight to his front foot, and what does Gvozdyk do? He says, okay, well, I'm not really worried about the left hook right there because I'm on my back leg. So he comes forward, shoots the jab, holds him in that position, and then shoots the right hand to the body. And this is at the end of his weight transition, so the only place that Ngumbu can go right here is to pivot and circle around towards the north side of the ring, right? If the south side is towards us right now, right? So Gvozdyk knows he has the guy completely out of position. He only has to worry about the left hook here, and he's able to land that right hand to the body. Just beautiful work. Beautiful understanding of boxing and positioning. Just a fantastic fighter, you guys. God, look at that right hand feint. Again, look at all the feinting that goes into this. Feint, feint, feint. Feint right hand, feint, feint, feint right hand again, gets him out of position and then comes in. 2 full rounds of feinting, right? How is Beterbiev, somebody who can't even move his head or transition his weight, going to deal with this active of a guard? And God, look at that killer right hand right there. Oh my God. Super good. Super, super good. And then 2 more clips. We'll just go through them real quick. Anyway, as you can see, guys, I'm definitely picking Gvozdyk to win. I think he's actually going to smash Beterbiev. I don't even think it's going to be close at all. Yeah, I think it's just going to be an easy fight. And just too much feinting, too much probing. And the fact is, Beterbiev... why is this clip in here? I don't know. Anyway... Let me put it on a good clip. Actually, I really like this one. This one's sick. But as you can see, Beterbiev, not only do I never think that he's going to have control of the space between him and Gvozdyk, I think that Gvozdyk's active guard, feinting and probing, is going to cause Beterbiev to shell up too much and eat too many clean shots. I think this could wind up being like Kovalev... what's that guy's name? Nathan Cleverly, where, like, for some reason, people are still hyped about Cleverly and Kovalev. I don't even know what Kovalev had accomplished then, but, you know, I didn't even really know who Kovalev was at that time, and I just been hearing about Nathan Cleverly, and, I think it might wind up being, like, a one-sided fight like that. Now, I'm not sure if Gvozdyk is going to be able to get Beterbiev out of there super early. He might be able to. But the only way I see Gvozdyk losing this fight is if he sits on the line with Beterbiev. Other than that, I think that he's just going to dominate this guy. He's going to win every round. And it's going to be a one-sided beatdown. And I actually think that Bivol and Kovalev would basically do the exact same thing to Beterbiev. I think he's by far the worst at 175. I think his best fight, or the most competitive fight he could have at 175 is with Oleksandr Alvarez, and I don't even know if he would win that fight. I really, really, really like Oleksandr Alvarez's grit, his toughness, you know. Even though I don't think he's like that great of a fighter, I think that him and Beterbiev would have a really good fight. He would put the kind of pressure on Oleksandr Alvarez that Oleksandr Alvarez could actually handle, you know, and counter well, especially if he's throwing that right hand over the jab, like over Beterbiev's jab. But yeah, I'm picking Gvozdyk, probably by KO or TKO, probably like Nomaschenko style. But this is going to be a pretty fun fight. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned it yet, but I'm planning to get off work early tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing a live stream commentary of the fight. So if you guys want to watch the fight alongside my commentary, I'll be talking about the fights. I'll do a couple of the undercard fights, probably just one actually. But and I can answer questions and hang out, and it'll be cool. And I'm actually going to hope to be doing that pretty regularly. I think that's going to be super fun. and it'll be a way to kind of stay away from some of the copyright stuff that I'm going to have going on with Fox Sports, those cocksuckers. Anyway, sorry for the language at the end of my video for all of you that stayed. Anyway, hit me up on Patreon if you guys appreciate what I'm doing. If you guys want to send me training clips for me to analyze and take a look at, if you want help on your technique or, you know, some drills, shoot me a message on Facebook, shoot me some money on Patreon, and I'll take a look, you guys. Anyway, thanks, guys.